Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Roll Call. Before I get started, I want to real talk with you guys because I went to go film Stardew Valley yesterday, and I noticed just how many views my two character creation videos got. And I am amazed by that. I am absolutely amazed. One of them even got 2 likes. So thank you to everyone who viewed those videos, and really thank you to the people who liked them. You're the people who I make this channel for, even though I mostly do this just to entertain myself and do things that I like to do, but just more publicly. So thank you very much. Uh, but on that note, I also realize that this is a very unpolished channel. It's a very new channel. Lord knows my first Talos Principle video, the sound is just awful on it. You can feel free to skip that one or just watch it muted if you want. But that said, seeing that many views on my videos made me realize that I need to up my game. Which means that I'm going to try and really start to learn how to do this a little more professionally. Some of that is going to take some time because it's going to mean getting money for equipment that, can be sometimes a little pricey, especially if you want to get the really good stuff. Like I need to get the professional version of Bandicoot so that you don't see the Bandicoot logo at the end of my videos anymore. But that said, I work at a glorified gas station, so money doesn't come. But there are things I can do, and there are things I'm going to do. I think you'll see in this video, I'm going to edit it a little more sharply. You'll probably see less time of me searching through the book going, let's see here, what page was that on? Oh wait, did I understand that right? So a little less of that, and a little more of the actual content, because I owe it to you guys. And again, it just means a whole lot to me, that you guys actually enjoyed my content, even if it's just the 12 people there. Because you know what? On YouTube and with the algorithm, 12 people can easily become 24 people, and 24 people can easily become 100 people. So thank you again. And I also don't know why the D&D videos are so popular. It might just be the algorithm, because, the 2024 D&D is new. There are more tags on that, because some people, when they search for D&D, they do D&D. Some people do DND. Sometimes people just write Dungeons and Dragons. And so there's probably also more tags on those than when I just do Stardew Valley and I just do Stardew Valley video games. So we'll see. But again, thank you very much. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the actual content, because I got a special one for you today. I thought of this one at work. So today we're going to make a special character. For those of you who are not aware, there is a pygmy hippopotamus that has gained some notoriety by the name of Moo Deng. And of course, for those of you who are less familiar with D&D and Spelljammer, there is a race of hippo people named the GIF. So we today are going to be making a GIF. But of course, I do want to, highlight some of the newer aspects of D&D. So we are also going to go ahead and do the new Bard subclass, which is the College of Dance. And you also notice I'm going a little out of order on this one, because before I was trying to do it the way the book wants to, where the book goes, okay, do this first. And, that's fine, especially when you're around a table and everyone's like trying to do it and looking around. But for this, we're going to streamline. We're going to do this the Corey way now. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to start with our primary stats, and then we're just going to go ahead and add the. But on that note, I also realize that this is a very unpolished channel. It's a very new channel. Lord knows my first Talos Principle video, the sound is just awful on it. You can feel free to skip that one or just watch it muted if you want. But that said, seeing that many views on my videos made me realize that I need to up my game. Which means that I'm going to try and really start to learn how to do this a little more professionally. Some of that is going to take some time because it's going to mean getting money for equipment that, can be sometimes a little pricey, especially if you want to get the really good stuff. Like I need to get the professional version of Bandicoot so that you don't see the Bandicoot logo at the end of my videos anymore. But that said, I work at a glorified gas station, so money doesn't come. But there are things I can do, and there are things I'm going to do. I think you'll see in this video, I'm going to edit it a little more sharply. You'll probably see less time of me searching through the book going, let's see here, what page was that on? Oh wait, did I understand that right? So a little less of that and a little more of the actual content because I owe it to you guys. And again, it just means a whole bunch to me, a whole lot to me that you guys actually enjoyed my content, even if it's just the 12 people there. Because you know what? On YouTube and with the algorithm, 12 people can easily become 24 people, and 24 people can easily become 100 people. So thank you again. And I also don't know why the D&D videos are so popular. It might just be the algorithm because, you know, the 2024 D&D is new. There are more tags on that because some people, when they search for D&D, they do D&D. Some people do DND. Sometimes people just write Dungeons and Dragons. And so there's probably also more tags on those than when I just do Stardew Valley and I just do Stardew Valley video games. So we'll see. But again, thank you very much. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the actual content. Because I got a special one for you today. I thought of this one at work. So today we're going to make a special character. For those of you who are not aware, there is a pygmy hippopotamus that has gained some notoriety by the name of Moo Deng. And of course, for those of you who are less familiar with D&D and Spelljammer, there is a race of hippo people named the GIF. So we today are going to be making a GIF. But of course, I do want to, highlight some of the newer aspects of D&D. So we are also going to go ahead and do the new Bard subclass, which is the College of Dance. And you also notice I'm going a little out of order on this one, because before I was trying to do it the way the book wants to, where the book goes, okay, do this first. And, that's fine, especially when you're around a table and everyone's like trying to do it and looking around. But for this, we're going to streamline. We're going to do this the Corey way now. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to start with our primary stats, and then we're just going to go ahead and add the bonuses in where we want. In this case, the background I chose is pretty much going to give us in the stats we want anyway, so this is still rules as written, but again, at my table, I would just let you put those stats anywhere. So this is a bard. But the College of Dance Bard is also kind of like a monk. So we're actually going to go, let's see here. I think we're going to go ahead, we are going to make Charisma the highest because the Bard is still going to have spellcasting, so we're going to do 15 for the standard array, plus 2 for the bonus for 17. Then naturally Dexterity is going to be our next one, and that's going to be important for the College of Dance. So that's going to be a 15, 14 with the plus 1 bonus. That is going to be important because the College of Dance acts like a monk in the sense that your Charisma is going to give you an additional unarmed defense, and you're going to be using Dexterity for unarmed strikes. Next, we're going to do Constitution. Friends do not let friends dump Constitution, even in the new 2024. So we're going to put 13 there. If we're going to be dancing, we're going to be up front. We don't want to, take too many hits, and that's going to help if we can at least take a hit and not die instantly. So next, gifts actually get bonuses for strength checks and saves. So we're going to deviate a little bit from what may be prescribed, and we're going to go ahead and put that 12 right there in strength. I think what we'll do here is for wisdom, we're going to go to 10. That's going to be our neutral one. And then for intelligence, we're going to go ahead and make that the 8. Moo Deng is basically just this bubbly, energetic baby hippopotamus who bites your caretaker. So, I think that's just very accurate to her. And we'll go ahead and we'll do our bonuses now. I know for a fact that 10 is a 0, 8 is a -1. Strength is going to be a +1 because it goes by interval of 2. So 10 is 0, and then 11 is 0, 12 is the +1, which means that our Constitution is also a +1. That means 14 is going to be a +2, and that means 15 is also going to be a +2, and that means that our Charisma is sitting nice at a +3. Again, that's really going to help us down the line. Now, as for what gifts get for their type of species. They're humanoid. I'm not going to put humanoid here. We all know. Speed is going to be 30 feet. Now, here's where we get some nice little things for the species traits. So first thing we have is Astral Spark. And what Astral Spark is that whenever you do damage with a weapon, you do damage, you can do extra damage in force damage equal to your proficiency bonus, and you can do this a number of times per long rest equal to your proficiency bonus. Now, this will be a little weird for Moo Deng to have, because she's largely going to be a puncher and less a weapon user, but do get proficiency in firearms, which normally is not a thing you see in D&D a whole lot, but some DMs and some settings do have firearms, so check with your DM. But this would be a nice thing to have, so we're going to go ahead and end up giving her a rifle. So we're going to go ahead and get to Astral Spark, and this is also where her next racial feat comes in, which is Firearms Mastery. That gives you proficiency with guns. It allows you to ignore the loading property, which is important if you can make multiple attacks. Again, Bard probably not going to be doing a lot of extra attacking, especially when it's more about her fists, but it's a useful thing to have, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that, because I have a good idea for this. And then her last trait is Hippo Build. That means that for her carrying, well, she has advantage on strength checks and throws. Her carrying capacity and her ability to push, lift, and drag is counted as one size higher than her medium build. So she's treated as a large creature, she's treated as a medium creature, but she also acts as a large creature. Okay, now for her hit points, I am looking at the book right now, so sorry. So 8 plus con modifier for her starting HP, that's going to be 9, and then each level above that for Bard is going to be 5 plus con. So that's 9 and 6 is 15, 15 and 6 is 21. That's been pretty standard for a lot of our builds so far, because I don't think we've done anything on the beefier side, but still, 21's a nice place to be sitting. And here, we'll even make it her current one. There we go. Oh, so I just put a big old M for medium. Not for mini, medium. It's not wumbo. And of course, her passive perception is going to be just 10, because she doesn't have any bonuses to her wisdom, which might come back to bite her. But again, I imagine Moo Deng, just like the hippo, just being like this impulsive, playful creature. As I'm sure you already saw, we made her an entertainer, so we already put those bonuses in. Entertainers do get dexterity and charisma, so that's not going to be a huge thing. Her feat, though, is going to be musician. You gain the following benefits. Instrument training. You gain proficiency with 3 musical instruments of your choice. Encouraging song. As you finish a short or long rest, you can play a musical instrument with which you have proficiency and give heroic inspiration to allies who hear the song. The number of allies you can affect this way equals your proficiency bonus. So we'll go ahead and... oh, that's going to be a feat. Hey. So now the thing is we have to actually pick some instruments. So bear with me while I edit to me picking instruments. Okay, so let's see. So for musical instrument, she's going to be a dancer. So I think she needs something that she can use as she's dancing. I think, let's do a flute, a pan flute, and a drum. I think that would be cool. So, flute, pan flute, drum. There we go. I mean, I think that's one of the more iconic, things is like the satyr dancing with the pan flute. So maybe something along those lines. I mean, that's the other funny thing is you're going to have this big hippo person, and she's going to be dancing. So that's going to be hilarious. But wait, there's more. We can choose another instrument because entertainer gets a musical instrument proficiency. So let's go ahead and just add a horn to that. I think that's a safe one to add a horn. She's not always going to be dancing. That's just one of her many skills. Rogues, along with bards, are a class that really excels at having a lot of different skills at once. Alright, and then as usual, we're going to go ahead and just forgo the gear. If you are an entertainer and you want the gear, you get a musical instrument, the one that you chose for your entertainer subclass or entertainer background. You gain 2 costumes, a mirror, perfume, traveler's clothes, and 11 gold. But of course, we're going to be a little lazy here because we're not going to write in all that gear, and we're just going to do the flat 50 gold option. There we go. So she gets 50 gold. And again, I like doing that for I like doing that for my games because then players can pick what they want, and that's cool. Because like maybe the one you chose for your proficiency, like honestly, if it was me, I would not start out with the horn. So it's just a matter of saying like, okay, the flute's actually the one I get for my background. I'm going to take the flute, and I think that's the one I would honestly choose. And of course, we can't forget that we have skill proficiencies. So in this case, we get acrobatics and performance, which headline bards, are acrobats and perform. Okay, now moving on to what bards get as their core bard traits. They get 1d8 per bard level for their dice. Of course, we have 3 bard levels. We always make our characters for level 3 around here, mostly because, most campaigns start at level 3. If not, this will give you an idea of where you're going to be in 3 levels, which in most campaigns will come pretty quickly. They have proficiency saving throws in dexterity and charisma. So dexterity check, charisma check. Again, this will come as no surprise to anyone that's knowledgeable about D&D already. Choose any 3 skills. Okay, so let's see. I think I really want to play up the charisma part of it. Like, I think I want to give her deception. Yeah, you know what? Let's give her all charisma skills because she has just become this internet fame, and especially intimidation. Because as the meme you've seen might go, or as you might have seen the meme go, Moo Deng, if given the chance, would eat you and everyone you love. Armor training. We're going to go ahead and check off light armor. Although, because Moo Deng is going to be a dancer, she's going to get an unarmored proficiency from her subclass. So armor is really not going to be an issue for us. Starting equipment, if you go with the equipment, you'll get leather armor, 2 daggers, a musical instrument of your choice, an entertainer's pack, and 19 gold. But of course, again, we're going to skip all that and just take the 90 gold from the class, which brings us up to a nice, pretty 140. And again, this is also where choosing, species from previous books, and especially ones that, have some like firearm proficiency, can cause some trouble at the table. If your DM, doesn't want guns in their setting, which, is a perfectly acceptable thing. Talk to your DM about this. If that's the case, then you might not want, you're not going to get a gun, but you might want to see if you can switch it out for, like crossbow proficiencies, because I think that's just the closest thing to a gun without having a gun. Ironically, in the 2024 handbook, they do actually just have a pistol and a rifle listed. So I guess they're kind of aiming more towards there are kind of sometimes guns in these games, and this is the baseline for that. But in this case, I would ask your DM if she could have a pistol, and we'll get to that once we, finish the rest of this. But I think it would be important for her to have a pistol because it's going to be fun when you can. Oh, actually, wait, I don't think bards get weapon masteries. Oh, well, that kind of stuff. That ruins my plan. But I mean, we'll still go over that a little bit. Okay. So first things first is we're going to go on to Bard class features. Bardic Inspiration. You can supernaturally inspire others through words, music, or dance. This inspiration is represented by your Bardic Inspiration die, which is a D6. Using Bardic Inspiration. As a bonus action, you can inspire another creature within 60 feet of yourself who can see or hear you. That creature gains 1 of your Bardic Inspiration dice. A creature can have only 1 Bardic Inspiration die at a time. Once within the next hour, when the creature fails a d20, the creature can roll the Bardic Inspiration die and add the number rolled to the d20, potentially turning a success into a failure. A bardic inspiration die is expended when it's rolled. That's going to be important for when we get to what the dancers can do. Number of uses. You can confer a bardic inspiration die a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of once, which is good. That's good that we added that +3 to charisma there. That's going to give us 3 bardic inspiration die right off the bat. And then you regain all of them on a long rest. At higher levels, your bardic inspiration die changes when you reach certain bard levels as shown on the bardic die column of the bard features table. It becomes a D8 at 5, D10 at 10, and a D12 at 15. So again, those are really big bonuses, like being able to give one of your allies a D12 and say, hey, if you have a roll that you fail, roll that. You can get up to a +12 bonus to help turn that into a success. That's important. That's good. So now we're going to go ahead and just put here bardic inspiration. It is pretty much the quintessential bard feat. You never want to have a bard that says, oh no, I don't want bardic inspiration. Spellcasting. You have learned to cast spells through your bardic arts. See Chapter 7 for rules on spellcasting. Cantrips. 2 cantrips of your choice. Spell slots. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hold off on the spells for now. Just because that's going to take a while for me to look through, and then I can just edit that in last, and that would just be easier for me. Okay, now at level 2. At level 2, you're going to gain expertise. You gain expertise in 2 of your skill proficiencies of your choice. Performance and persuasion are recommended if you have proficiency in them. And you know what? They're absolutely right. Especially for Moo Deng. I said she's going to be a dancer. They get that performance, and then what's the other one? Persuasion. Yeah, persuasion. So we're going to go ahead and when we add in our bonuses there, we'll go ahead and make sure we double those. Level 2, Jack of all trades. You can add half your proficiency bonus, round down, to any ability check you make that uses a skill proficiency you lack, but that otherwise doesn't use your proficiency bonus. For example, if you make a strength athletics check and lack athletics proficiency, you can add half your proficiency bonus to the check. So it's almost a good thing I didn't choose any proficiency in athletics, because with those bonuses to strength checks and throws, having that advantage, that's already good. But now we can add half our proficiency to that, and that is going to help. So she might be agile, but she's strong. And now we come to our Bard subclass. Okay. College of Dance. Bards of the College of Dance know that the words of creation can't be contained within speech or song. The words are uttered by the movements of celestial bodies and flow through the motions of the smallest creatures. These bards practice a way of being in harmony with the whirling cosmos that emphasizes agility, speed, and grace. And in the case of Moo Deng, strength. Okay, so this is where they get very monkey. Level 3, Dazzling Footwork. While you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield, you gain the following benefits. Dance Virtuoso. You have advantage on any charisma performance check you make that involves dancing. Again, really good to have that performance expertise bonus. Unarmed Fence. Your armor class equals 10 plus your dexterity and charisma modifiers. So we're going to go ahead and we'll do that right now. So 10, dexterity is 2, charisma is 3, and that's 15. So already you have a bard who is not wearing any armor, and they have armor on par with a monk. And that is awesome. And of course, what stats are you going to be leveling? You're going to be leveling your charisma, you're going to be leveling your dexterity. So you do that, that's going to be your main attack stat, and these are going to both be your defensive stat. So it's just easy. Honestly, I would probably focus on dexterity almost first to a certain degree, just because of the fact that that would give you a little more offensive capability. But then on the other hand, you do also have spells, so it might behoove you to do charisma first, especially because you're not going to necessarily be doing just punching. You're also going to be casting your spells. Agile Strikes. Now this is where it gets interesting. When you expend a use of your bardic inspiration die as part of an action, bonus action, or reaction, you can make one unarmed strike as part of that action, bonus, or reaction. So pretty much any time you, let's see here, hold on. Yeah, expend a use of the inspiration die. So with this, you might not necessarily want to give it to a player. I think, hold on a second. 1 second, rules check. Okay, so the rules check is that you have to give the bardic inspiration to another creature. You cannot give it to yourself. I mean, you can't be that egoist dancer that just thinks you're so full of it. So that would be interesting because I really have to wonder, does that mean when I give it to another player? But it also says that it's expended when it's rolled. So when can I, the bard, expend an inspiration die? Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know, Wizards of the Coast, like, get me an answer on that one, because it seems to me like I cannot give myself bardic inspiration, but by the wording, it seems like I have to be the one to expend it. But how can I expend it if it's only expended when I can give it to my allies and they use it? It seems to me like the way it works is if I give inspiration somehow, then that's how it goes. But this also comes to bardic damage. You can use dexterity instead of strength for your attack rolls of your unarmed strikes. When you deal damage with unarmed strike, you can deal bludgeoning damage equal to a roll of your bardic inspiration die plus your dexterity modifier instead of the strike's normal damage. This roll doesn't expend the die. So, God, the wording of this is so weird because it almost specifically says that you have to expend the die, but at the same time, the only abilities they give you to expend die are to give bardic inspiration to others to expend, in which case they're expending it, not you, or you roll it in order to do the bonus damage, but that's not expending it. Like it's basically it doesn't expend the die. It's just you're just using that as the metric bonus. So yeah, this is interesting. As we go, we're going to go ahead and we won't put this on the character sheet, but we are going to read some of this because maybe there's another way. Level 6, Inspiring Movement. When an enemy you see ends its turn within 5 feet of you, you can take a reaction. Oh, and expend one use of your Bardic Inspiration die. Okay, so you do eventually get stuff that allows you to expend Bardic Inspiration. But level 6 seems like such a weird level to have that, especially when you have a level 3 ability that says you need to expend die to use this. Honestly, I think what I would do is, if it was my table, I would say once the bard gives the inspiration to or gives the bardic inspiration, that's what triggers the bonus damage from the dazzling footwork. So anyway, let's go ahead. We've spent enough kind of pontificating on what exactly this wording means. So, dazzling footwork. Okay, now we're going to move on to spells. So, with the bard at level 3, we have 4 level 1 spell slots. So we are going to check those off. Check, 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 check. And 2 level 2 spell slots. Check and check. Okay, now moving on how to choose our spells. This is something to where, with our previous ones, with the Arcane Trickster, the amount of spells you prepared are the same amount of spells that you knew. Here it seems like the bard doesn't necessarily know spells, but they can choose any spell they have an appropriately sized spell slot for, and then they can repair a certain number of spells for that. So in the case of a level 3 bard, they have 6 prepared spells. So now I'm going to go ahead and look through the book and see what spells we want. And they can be of level 1 or 2. Okay, so let's actually, instead we're going to start with our cantrips, because we need to pick 2 cantrips. It just wouldn't be a bard if we couldn't do Vicious Mockery. My favorite Vicious Mockery I've ever heard was from TFS at the Table, that goes, "Your mom's so fat, a gelatinous cube got sucked into her." Oh, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give her Mage Hand. Because what I'm imagining now is that as part of her act, she has that spectral hand. So at one point, she'll use the hand to kind of dip herself like that. And I think that's a cool thing. Okay, so we're going to go with Mage Hand. Okay, for level 1 spells, you can never go wrong with Fairy Fire. The ability to say, hey, you're no longer invisible, and me and my allies' attacks have advantage against you, always good. Like honestly, I cannot recommend Fairy Fire enough. Ooh, let's go ahead and give her Long Strider, because I imagine like the way I would flavor that is like that's just her kind of like gracefully leaping across the field, like she's there, and she's used to doing like these very large movements as she dances across. Next, let's go with Tasha's Hideous Laughter. That's a name that's way too long, but that's a good one. I'll always leave them laughing. Oh, and you know what? I'm imagining Featherfall. Okay, so I'm imagining Moo Deng does ballet. I'm imagining this is her doing Swan Princess. She can cast Featherfall on herself, and even though she's basically this large creature, she just falls gracefully. Oh, you know what? Let's give her Enlarge Reduce. Hold on. That's Large Reduce. And I imagine, like, she can use that, like, during performances, she can, like, make herself smaller and, like, therefore, like, more agile. But at the same time, it's like when she wants to punch something really hard, kind of like in Dragonheim where you have Big Rudy, you just have Big Moo Deng and just boom. Oh, and you know what? The meme started Moo Deng biting her caretaker, and so I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to flavor that as Hold Person. Okay, that's a good one. So there we go. We got a couple level 2 spells, we got some good level 1 spells, and we got some cantrips. And I think that's going to be just about it. Oh, actually, you know what? This would be a good chance because I think I might have skipped this yesterday, or not yesterday, but when I did the Arcane Trickster. Okay, so the thing that I forgot last time when I was doing the Arcane Trickster is we have your spellcasting modifier, which in this case is Charisma. It is Charisma for bards. You have the spell save DC. The spell save DC is 8 plus your spellcasting modifier plus your proficiency bonus. So in this case, we have 8 plus 3 is 11, and the proficiency bonus at that level is just a simple plus 2. So 8, 11, and 2 is 13. So what that means is that whenever you cast a spell and it says, X, Y, or Z needs to make a dexterity or wisdom or charisma saving throw, they roll for their stats in that stat, but they're rolling it against your charisma-based spell save DC. So, actually, you know what? Perfect example. We're going to cut to the future. Here we go. So, as you might recall from a few seconds ago, I gave Tasha's Hideous Laughter to Moo Deng. One creature of your choice that you can see within range makes a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it has the prone and incapacitated conditions for the duration. So, what that means is that you use that on that goblin, and it's going to roll its a d20, or the DM will roll a d20 plus its wisdom modifier. So let's say it's plus 1. So between those two together, it needs to get a 13 in order to make that save. If it doesn't, if it gets lower than that, that's when it gets those conditions. Now, the next thing is spell casting attack bonus. Whenever you have a spell that does direct damage and it says make a ranged spell attack, well, usually it's a ranged spell attack. There are a few melee spell attacks, but if it says spell attack, this is what you're going to use. You're going to roll a d20, and kind of like your spell save DC, you roll that d20, you add your spell casting ability modifier and the proficiency bonus. So again, that's 5. So that means that your spell attack bonus is going to be plus 5. So again, that's in addition to what you roll. So if you make a spell attack, you roll a 10, you get a plus 5, that's 15. And if the AC of the creature that you are attacking is 15 or less, then you've made it and you damage that creature with that spell. If it's a 16 or more, you didn't damage it, you either missed it or their armor was too tough. That's a topic for another day about how to kind of roll AC. Hello everyone, Editing Room Corey here. So I did make a couple small whoopsies. The first one you may have noticed is I forgot to fill in all of the respective skill and saving throw bonuses. We've been through that before, so I'm less worried about it. The big thing to remember is that the number you're going to put in there is either going to be your modifier. If you're proficient in it, you're going to add your proficiency to it. And then if you're expertised in it, you're going to add your proficiency a second time to it. So if you make Moo Deng, you can easily go ahead and fill that out. It's pretty simple. But the thing I wanted to do, and this is where the guns came in, because as I pointed out, Moo Deng does not get any weapon masteries. But there is a way for her to get weapon masteries, and this is why this is important. Weapon Master, you gain the following benefits. Ability score increase. Increase your strength or dexterity score to 1 to a maximum of 20. This is a feat, and you can get this feat whenever you get, essentially at periodic levels. The first one's always at level 4. You can take a feat, and in this case, it might behoove you to take the the Weapon Master feat, because you can put that point in dexterity, but then you also get this. Mastery property. Your training with weapons allows you to use the mastery property of one kind of simple or martial weapon of your choice, provided you have proficiency with it, which Moo Deng does because she's a gift. She's proficient with all firearms. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can change the kind of weapon to another eligible kind. But this is why this is important. Now I'm going to flip a few pages here, because here is the mastery. It's the musket I want. You want to get her a musket. It's still a firearm, so she's still proficient in it. The musket has slow. And slow is, if you hit a creature with this weapon and deal damage to it, you reduce its speed by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. If the creature is hit more than once by weapons that have this property, the speed reduction doesn't exceed 10 feet. This is why this would be an interesting one to put on Moo Deng, because part of what monks do is they have that high mobility. The charisma monk, let's say it's a charisma monk, but the College of Dance essentially kind of has that same thing. It does have later abilities where like you can disengage, or you can hit an enemy and disengage. So there is that mobility. So now imagine this. She takes her musket, she shoots the enemy, she slows it, and then she's just dancing around and doing like little hit and run tactics. That I think would be a cool playstyle. Maybe not like the most optimal, but at the same time, it's a good feat. It gives you that dexterity, and that's going to bump up your dexterity score, which is good for both your defense and your offense. And at the same time, you're not going to necessarily be using your weapon a lot, but it's going to be a nice thing to have, because let's face it, the College of Dance Bard does not have a ranged ability beyond your spells. So it's one of those things where if they're, like, say, in a cone of silence, take out the rifle, pop someone. Moo Deng will cap you. So that's the thing. Maybe for my next video, I'll go ahead and I'll make a video on the respective masteries. But yeah, so that's one that you'll want to use if you want to take full advantage of Moo Deng being a gift. So that's Editing Room Corey, just letting you know that information. We're going to go ahead and go back to the conclusion of this video now. Okay, and that's about it. One other thing we could do is we could do an unarmed strike right here, and just remember that it would be a d20 plus dexterity plus proficiency, because every creature is proficient in their unarmed strikes. So that for her, that would be plus 3, so 1d20 plus a 3, and then you would just do the damage type, which you would add your dexterity to, because again, she's allowed to use her dexterity for the modifier on that. So it would just be the damage for the unarmed plus 3. And yeah, so that's it. That's Moo Deng here. She is a level 3 Bard College of Dance. Although, where did that dance go? Come on, I'm pretty sure I put College of Dance. Unless I'm just misremembering. So there we go, College of Dance. So yeah, that is the new Bard subclass that we just did right there. So go ahead if you want to make your DM groan by taking a meme and make it into a character. This is how you do it right here. So on that note, I just want to talk to you like this again. I have realized that these are really popular videos compared to my other ones. I'm not sure I want to do roll call weekly. I don't think I can make a new character every week. Like my creativity kind of comes in fits and bursts. So maybe like I'll have like a 3 week period where I'm just thinking of all these new characters. But I think what I will do is I typically do a video game on Sunday. In this case, I'm going through the Talos Principle, and then on Saturday I've been doing Stardew Saturdays. So I think what I might do is I will go ahead. If this video gets enough likes, I will go ahead and start doing D&D content every Wednesday. It might not always be a roll call. It might just be me like expounding what I think about a mechanic, a subclass, ways to role play. I don't want to do D&D horror stories. I love D&D horror stories. I like to watch Crispy Tavern all the time. But at the same time, like I can't watch it too much because it's like, oh my god, these people actually exist. So I don't want to do D&D horror stories, but I do want to do something D&D. So get ready. We'll probably start doing Wednesday D&D stuff. But until then, thank you for joining me once again. Don't forget to do all the Facebook stuff, like, subscribe, and all that. It would really help my growing channel out. Thank you for joining me, and as always, don't forget to keep doing what makes you awesome. Thank you very much, and goodbye.